Hello. Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And as always, we're back with another massive show to bring you guys this evening. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. And let's get straight on into it. So on the show this evening, we're obviously going to be doing a bit of a preview for the Manchester United versus Newcastle United Carabao Cup round of 16 match, which is taking place in about 2.5 hours time. We will be doing a preview for that. I'll be bringing you all the team news. I'll be giving you some actual positive news on the injury front. We'll also be talking or discussing the question as a community here. Do we think that this match is make or break for Manchester United and Erik ten Hag? If we were to lose against Newcastle tonight, what do you think will happen? Do you think this will change things for any of you? Do you think you're still going to, be 100% behind Erik ten Hag? Let me know what your thoughts are on that, of course, and we will discuss it all together a little bit later on in the show. Lots of other bits to get into as well, so do make sure to get involved in the comment section, get involved in the live chat, let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on this evening's show. So let's start off with a positivity. Let's start off with some positivity. And you know what? This is a big bit of news. Now, this is coming out from various different people. There's photos. It's 100%. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is in the squad for the game against Newcastle tonight. He's been pictured entering Old Trafford with the rest of the team in the tracksuit, the Manchester United tracksuit. Whether he's going to start or not, we'll have to wait and see. For me personally, if Aaron Wan-Bissaka's fit, I start him against Newcastle. I do. I think we need to solidify that right back position. I would play Dalot at left back and Wan-Bissaka at right back personally. Reguilon hasn't looked that great since he's come back from injury. Lindelof got the nod ahead of him for the Manchester derby. I mean, the fact that a centre back got picked ahead of Reguilon kind of sums it up for me. So if Wan-Bissaka's able to start, I'm starting Wan-Bissaka at right back, Dalot at left back, then it would be Maguire, Varane, Onana. And then obviously further up the pitch, we can talk about that in a minute. But Casemiro and Aaron Wan-Bissaka have both turned up for the game tonight. They're both available. Will they start? That's the big question. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section. Do you think Wan-Bissaka should start tonight? And do you think Casemiro should also start? For me, if they're both fit, 120% they should start. Because you know what? Newcastle United, as we all know, are a very, very difficult side to beat. Obviously, they are missing some players. Tonali's got this ban for betting. Obviously, there's a couple of other people as well who are injured. I think Isaac's injured. They're still a solid team though, just because they've got a couple of people missing doesn't mean that they're going to be a walk in the park. Obviously, yeah, they've got Isaac missing. They've got Botman missing, Murphy. Obviously, Tonali's out for a while. Harvey Barnes is missing. They've got quite a few people missing, so we do have to be aware of that, but they're still going to be able to put together a decent team. Bruno Guimaraes, Callum Wilson, Joel Linton, Gordon. There's a couple of other decent players in their squad, so it's going to be a very, very difficult match tonight, but I think we're going to win, and I think we have to win, because if we don't win tonight and then we lose against Copenhagen, we'd be out of the Carabao Cup and out of the Champions League. We're not going to get we're not going to win the Premier League, obviously. So we're out of the Premier League title race. We'd be out of the League Cup and we'd be out of the Champions League by the beginning of November. That could happen as soon as next week. If we lose away to Copenhagen next week and we lose to Newcastle tonight, effectively the only chance we have of winning any trophy this season would be the FA Cup. I mean, for Manchester United to be only in one trophy in the beginning of November, that would be an absolute disaster. It really, really would. And I think Erik ten Hag needs this victory tonight. Obviously, I think it's the round of 16, isn't it? So it will go to the last 8, then the semis. We could be in a final quite easily here. There isn't that many good teams left in the League Cup. Obviously, Man City were knocked out by Newcastle, weren't they, in the last round? So the only teams that are left in it that are difficult, let's say, obviously West Ham and Arsenal, but they're playing each other tonight, so one of them will get knocked out. You've got Chelsea still in it, who are playing Blackburn, so I'd imagine Chelsea will have no issue there. You've obviously got Liverpool in it as well, so it looks like the next round will probably be Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Everton, I would imagine, and probably Fulham. So still some difficult games there, but I think this is our best opportunity at winning a trophy this season. I really, really do. But let me know what your score predictions are for the game this evening. Are you worried? Are you concerned? I'm going with a 2-1 Manchester United win. I think we will. Win. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this evening. Lumen says, Kieran, what factor will tonight's lineup play in letting us know the real intelligence of Erik ten Hag? Well, you know what, mate? it has to be Garnacho, it has to be Pellistri, it has to be Mason Mount, it has to be Højlund for me, or Martial. Either or I'd be happy with. It needs to be no McTominay. It needs to be Casemiro, Amrabat, Wan-Bissaka if he's fit, Dallo at left back. Like, we could pick the team ourselves without having to have a manager. And I think that tonight, I think he will get it right. And I think that we will go out with this more youthful team. You might even see Hannibal in that squad. Newcastle apparently are going to rotate as well. Obviously, Newcastle have got some difficult matches coming up. You know, they're still in the Champions League. They're still really, really competing in it, aren't they, Newcastle? They've got Arsenal on the weekend, and then they've got Borussia Dortmund a couple of days later, which is a must-win game for them if they're going to qualify in the Champions League. So I think Newcastle will be looking at it a little bit like this is a rotation opportunity. Do they want to win the League Cup? Of course they do. They haven't won a trophy, I think, for like 50 years or something. So they'll be desperate to beat us tonight, obviously, after losing the League Cup final to us last season. But I do think we can win. I do think we'll see some rotation from both Manchester United and from Newcastle. But I would say that the people we're going to bring in are better than the people Newcastle have to bring in. You know, you think of the Garnachos, the Mason Mounts, Pellistri, all of these people. Like, Newcastle don't have that squad depth. Newcastle's bench is pretty weak at the moment, especially with all of the injuries they have at this current moment in time. So I would be very, very surprised if Newcastle go with the full strength team. I mean, when you look at their bench, right, is Ritchie, Dummett, Livramento, who's obviously from Chelsea. He's okay. Matt Targett, Hall, Dubravka, Gillespie. Like, we've got much better players to rotate tonight than they do. I would imagine they'll still play, people like Bruno Guimaraes and a couple of other people like that, maybe Trippier, but we are expecting at least, 3 or 4 big changes in the Newcastle United side tonight. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Everybody who's just joined in the last couple of minutes, please do smash a like on the video. It doesn't cost any money. It's completely free. And please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner, if you are new here. We're on the road to 21k subscribers. We're getting closer and closer to hit that target. So please do subscribe. It doesn't cost any money. It's completely free. So please go and do that now, bottom right-hand corner, if you haven't already. Let's see what else people are saying. Mila says, if Rashford and Bruno start, I'm not watching. Fair enough. That's up to you. Somebody says, do you think Pellistri and Casemiro will get a start? I think they will, yeah. I think Pellistri will start tonight. I think Garnacho will start tonight. Kobbie Mainoo will not be starting tonight. He played for the under-21s last night. There's no way Kobbie Mainoo will play. Impossible. Maybe he'll be on the bench just for the experience, but I think it would be absolutely mad if Kobbie Mainoo starts, because he played a professional football match, I think, 48 hours ago. So Kobbie Mainoo won't be playing. That's pretty much been confirmed. Unless, I mean, that would be pretty mad, wouldn't it, to bring him, to play him after he's literally just played a game. He played against Salford City on the 31st. Yeah, yesterday. He won't play. He played yesterday against Salford, so no way. That was obviously for the Manchester United under-21s. So no Kobbie Mainoo tonight. But let me know what your score predictions are in the live chat, everybody, and I will read out a couple of people. Godfrey says Eddie Howe is going to play his best lineup. Apparently he's not. Apparently he's going to rotate, but we'll have to wait and see. Paul says, I don't want to see Bruno on the left wing again. I agree with you, mate. Ruben says, Kieran, I see we're in the race for Chelsea centre-back Chalobah. I don't want him. He's slow, and I don't see why we'd buy any from Chelsea anymore. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I don't want Trevor Chalobah. I don't think he's particularly good, to be honest. And I think that we need to be aspiring for better players. And for me, Chalobah is not a good player. He's okay. He's average. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. And let's move on to... I want to ask you guys this, actually. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, how bad would it be if Manchester United lost tonight? Would it change your opinion on Erik ten Hag? I want you guys to let me know in the comment section. Obviously, it's game night. I want you to stay positive, but I want you to fast forward to the end of the match, and I want you to let me know, if Manchester United were to lose tonight by Newcastle, would that change your opinion on Erik ten Hag? Obviously, it's so hard to see. If he goes out with the same team that lost to Man City and we have a terrible performance and we get battered, then anything, it's hard to think what people will be thinking after that. But I think the most important thing for me is the selection tonight. If he gets the selection right and we get beaten narrowly, it won't make any difference to me. If we go out with the same team and we see Rashford walking around, we see Bruno complaining, and we see no progress in that front, obviously people are going to be frustrated. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that. Mount says, I don't know if I can watch this team tonight. It's embarrassing and frustrating. I hear you, mate. You know what? I'm actually quite excited about the game, like I am. The Unlimited says it will be 3-1 Manchester United. Fred says, what do you think if the lads do well tonight? Do you think he He says, what do you think if the lads do well tonight to the senior members of the squad? I'll be honest with you, mate. We'll probably see rotation tonight. We'll probably see, you know, Pellistri, Garnacho, Mason Mount. We'll probably have a great performance. We'll probably win. And then on Saturday, we'll play against Fulham and Bruno will be back. Rashford will be back and we'll probably lose. I would put money on that. I think we'll win tonight with a rotated lineup, and then on Saturday we'll go back to our usual lineup. It'll be McTominay, it'll be Rashford, it'll be Bruno, and I reckon we'll lose to Fulham. That's my prediction. Mount says more long balls, playing as individuals, shooting in the stands. Bruno moaning at the ref, same players playing. It's so predictable. That's the thing though, mate. It is usually, but I think tonight we will see a rotated lineup. Emmanuel says, for me, Ten Hag is still my manager. Don't forget he made us happy last season. The problem with our fan base is they want a quick fix. I agree with you there, to be honest, mate. The problem with our fan base is to always point the finger at the manager when we should be pointing the finger at the players. The players are a bunch of bottle jobs. Remind yourselves of that. Everybody, you need to look at the players. Ruben says, Kieran, just tell me if I'm wrong. If Onana is going away for how many games, do you think we must start Altay Bayindir now to get him into rhythm because he is hungry to perform? I mean, I would like to see Altay Bayindir start tonight. I would. Will it happen? I would be very, very surprised. But anything happens in football, you know. Maybe he gets the nod tonight. Maybe Altay Bayindir makes his debut tonight. I don't think it will, because I think Erik ten Hag wants to win the Carabao Cup. I think he's got his eyes fixed on the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. He knows he's not going to win the Champions League. He knows he's not going to win the Premier League. And I think a trophy, another trophy in the cabinet, even if we finish outside of the top four, you know, if we get the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup and we finish outside of the top four, I would still say that's been a successful season. Now, I know some of you at the beginning of the year thought we were going to win the Premier League. Some of you might have even thought we were going to win the Champions League. For me, I think another trophy would be progress, you know? Maybe the FA Cup. I think that would make progress on what we did last season. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. What is your priority for this season? Would you be happy with top four, no trophy? Or would you be more happy with... I'll get a poll going, actually. Let's do that quickly. Eamon says, please no Anthony, simply not good enough. Everybody smash a like on the video quickly. We've got over 300 of you watching. I'm just going to get a poll set up. 1 second. Please smash a like on the video and subscribe. What would you prefer this season? Top four, but no trophy. No top four, but FA Cup. All right, there's the poll. The poll's been set up, and the question is, what would you prefer this season? Manchester United get top four, but don't get a trophy, or no top four and win a trophy? Obviously, the trophy would be the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. It's not going to be the Champions League. It's obviously not going to be anything else. So let me know what you guys think. Chris says priority Glazers out, full sale. I 100% agree. Malp says, if we lose tonight, do you think Erik ten Hag will get sacked? I don't think he'd get sacked tonight. I think if we lost... I'll say this to you now, right? I'll say this right now, okay? And I'm happy to stand by this, okay? I'm not going to change my mind on this. I like Erik ten Hag. I think he's the right man for the job. But if we lose tonight to Newcastle, lose against Fulham on Saturday, and then lose to Copenhagen on Tuesday in the Champions League, which ultimately would mean we'd be out of the Carabao Cup, we'd be out of the Champions League. You know, we're never going to win the Premier League at this point, and we'd only be left in the FA Cup. I would at that point, I'm not going to say I'd be Erik ten Hag out, but I'd be willing to at least have that conversation, you know, because that would be any chance of a trophy gone pretty much, wouldn't it? Like, I don't think there's any point in sacking him at the moment, though, because the thing for me is, right, we know that the Glazers and Manchester United don't have a plan. They never do. They've never had a plan with anything. They buy random players that don't fit a system. We don't have a philosophy. If we sack him, who's going to come in? With what philosophy? With what plan? What happens to all the players that they've brought? You know, Mason Mount. What happens to Onana? What happens to Martinez? What happens to Casemiro? Like Højlund? All of these people, another manager might come in and say, you know what? I don't like any of those players. What happens then? You're just going to get rid of all of them. Anthony, Mason Mount. I mean, some of you in the chat will say, yeah, get rid of them all. But it's not realistic, is it? We just spent 100 million euros on Anthony. You can't just say get rid of him. Like, no one's going to pay us anywhere close to that amount of money. Ruben says, I think we will bounce back after the City defeat. I just hope that maybe Erik ten Hag can play the Ajax tactics. He used to play at Ajax. Where did our attacking football go? Yeah. Chris says, you do realise any trophy just entices the Glazers to stay. I don't think it does if we don't get top four. I don't think so. Marcello says, Kieran, would you leave Rashford and Bruno out tonight? 100%, 150% leave Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes out tonight. Without a shadow of a doubt. I think both of them should not be playing. I think Mason Mount deserves a chance. We just spent £60 million on him and he sat on the bench. I think Garnacho deserves a chance. He's just got this massive new contract. Give him a chance. I think Pellistri definitely deserves a chance. Whenever he plays, he looks decent. Give them all a go. Maybe stick to Rasmus Højlund or even give Martial a go. I would have absolutely zero complaints if Anthony Martial started tonight over Rasmus Højlund. I like Rasmus Højlund. I think he's going to be a good striker in the future. But let's not kid ourselves. He hasn't scored a single goal in the Premier League yet, okay? It's not like we've got somebody who scored 15 goals in 10 matches and I'm saying drop him. I'm not saying drop him because I don't think he's good enough. I'm saying drop him because we've got Anthony Martial sat on the bench on 250 grand a week who needs to contribute to this team. And I think that he can. I genuinely do. I think Martial has some good characteristics and some good skills. Yes, he's injury prone, but I have a bit of faith in him. Malp says that the Glazers don't give two hoots about any trophies. I agree with you, mate. They just care about top four, don't they? That's the most important thing. Alan says Arteta 8th, FA Cup 5th, 2nd, and we're sacking after a year or so. Yeah, I hear you, mate. I do. The thing is, right, I've said this to you many, many times before. I would be shocked if they sack Erik ten Hag at this point. I would, because the amount of money that it would involve to bring in a new manager is absolutely crazy. He's got about £15 million left on his contract left. If you wanted to bring De Zerbi from somewhere else, you'd have to pay probably Brighton 20-30 million. Like, there's no manager out there who's world class. It's not like you've got a Pep Guardiola clubless at the moment wanting to come. It's never going to happen. Where's Ancelotti going? Like, he's the only one. I know he's leaving. Is he becoming the Brazil manager? Or have I made that up? Yeah, he's becoming the Brazil manager, isn't he? Because I was going to say, like, but I mean, Ancelotti, I don't know. It's very difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult to predict. Obviously, Ancelotti's a good manager, but I don't even think I'd want him either, to be honest with you. So he's going to become the Brazil manager. Cool Gamer Boy says, who is your favourite Manchester United manager of all time? That's a good question. I'd probably say Paul Scholes. I think he's of my kind of generation. Obviously, I was born in the 90s, so I haven't seen the George Bests and all the rest of it. I'd probably say him or Ronaldo, probably. Obviously, Ronaldo's tainted a little bit after his second spell at the club, but I love both of those two, definitely. Obviously, there's so many, though. There's so many to go through. Marcello says Mount and Garnacho need to start with Amrabat and Casemiro. I would agree with that completely, 100%. Paul says the Glazers don't care about football. Yeah. Mila says we put Mason Mount in the legendary number 7 shirt and we just keep him on the bench. Yeah, it makes zero sense. Absolutely zero sense. Mila says, is it possible to get Xabi Alonso if Erik ten Hag gets sacked? I mean, Xabi Alonso, really? Is he really been doing very well? I'll be honest. Is he at Bayern Leverkusen, isn't he? Let me have a look. Yeah, he's at Bayern Leverkusen. How are Bayern Leverkusen doing? So, I mean, yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's won 8 games and drawn 1 so far in the Bundesliga. He's won all 3 of his Europa matches. I mean, that's the Bundesliga, though, isn't it? Like, it's not really that competitive, I don't think, Bundesliga. I mean, yeah, they're top of the Bundesliga. Okay, fair enough. That's pretty impressive. But they have got some good players. Bayern Leverkusen, remember, it's not like they've got a load of crap players. They've got some decent players, I would say. Let me have a look. Bayern Leverkusen. I know they've got that Florian Wirtz guy. He's very, very good. He'll move to the Premier League soon. They've got lots of other decent players. So don't let it, it's not like he's come into some terrible club and got them promoted. They're still a decent team in the Bundesliga. Malp says, if we win tonight, the fan base will be like, we're back. I won't be like that personally. I know where we are now. Like, I'll enjoy the match. If we win, I'll celebrate. I'll enjoy that moment. But generally, I'm accepting of where we are. We're a team that are going to be battling for top 4 every single season. Maybe we'll win a trophy every 5 years, a League Cup. Yeah. Somebody says Ancelotti hasn't negotiated contract with Brazil yet. Okay, fair enough. Mila says they've got Boniface and Frimpong. Yeah, they've got some good players, Bayern Leverkusen. They do. Somebody says Wirtz is going to Bayern. Probably. Everyone seems to go to Bayern, don't they? I'm just going to double check if there's any other news relating to team news for the game this evening. I don't think so. Obviously, Kicks off in about 2 hours time. But yeah, I'm gonna head off now, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on the show this evening. Please do smash a like before you go. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak to you all a little bit later.